Live. Welcome to the Last Call podcast, brought to you by FakePigskin.com. This is a daily fantasy football podcast where our focus will be on large field tournaments on DraftKings.com, mostly the Sunday Million Maker, but the Sunday main slate, essentially. This week is week one, where we have 12 games on the slate. My name is Charles. I am joined by Dustin Hogue and Justin Edwards. Dustin can be found on Twitter at Dookie Hogue. That's DOOKIE HOGE. I'm sorry,
GUE.
What was that?
HOGUE.
GUE, yeah. I can't read it. I spelled it correctly, though. And Justin's Twitter handle is at Justin_Redwards. REDWARDS.
Guys.
How you guys doing, guys?
Doing good.
Be better.
Glad to hear it. Are you guys excited? We're less than 24 hours away from the first game of the season. It's going to be great.
We're on the precipice.
Real quick, who you guys think are going to win? The Bears or Green Bay Thursday night?
I'll go.
Green Bay.
Perfect.
That's not good. I took the money line on the Bears. All right. So this is a podcast focused on the main slate on Sundays. So we're going to jump right in. Our first game is going to be the Los Angeles Rams at Carolina Panthers. The line is Rams are a -3.5 favorite, and the over/under is at 49.5. All the lines are brought to you by Bravada, and they're all taken off earlier this morning, which is Wednesday, the 4th. All right. So what do you guys think about this game?
I think we're in a good spot here. This is one of the highest totals Sunday slate. Jared Goff gets Cooper Kupp back. Cam Newton wasn't on the injury report, which is happy to see. I was wanting to lay off of Cam this week, see him get back on the field healthy, but the fact that he's not questionable or anything gives me a little. So I dig Cam, and pairing him with Curtis Samuel or DJ Moore, I think are logical pairings.
Yeah, definitely. That definitely makes a lot of sense. And having Chris Hogan there too is randomly good, just for like random naked Cam stacks, because Cam can easily light it up, spread the ball out to all, like, what, 5 of his options, his McCaffrey and all 3 of his wide receivers as well.
CMC and Greg Olson's back on the map.
Yeah,
I don't know
Greg
if I would
Olson's
be
back too. I thought he was going to retire.
I don't know if I'd be looking to play him, but he's a boost for Cam. So
yeah, exactly.
So I've got the ownership, projected ownership pulled up on Roto Grinders, and Curtis Samuel is projected to be 28% owned. That's pretty heavy chalk.
sure. What's do you have more?
Moore looks like at 9%. So he's probably the guy I would go with for sure.
A little more interesting there.
I can see
Yeah,
that.
I mean, he's
like,
the number one.
to be honest, like, after drafting for season long, they feel about like the same type of wide receiver. Obviously, Moore is definitely the lead role, the number one guy, but it's just like, just looking at their number wise and position wise stuff like that, it's just all in all, like, I never felt comfortable taking one or the other because they seem about the same. So if you sort of have that same mentality, paying $1,300 less for Curtis Samuels at $4,200 over DJ Moore, I mean, that might be a good spot right there.
Yeah. I can definitely see this entire game being
Like, all sorts of percentages. Like, you just have Cam Newton, Cam Moore, Cam Samuel, Cam CMC, and just go with it.
Or just take whoever the cheapest Rams up or come back with it. Cup's at 5,700. So if you want to do a Carolina stack, come back with Cup or vice versa.
I don't know if I thought Samuel ran more. It's like he's paired up with Marcus Peters, so that's a better met than Talib on the outside. So I like Moore a little more.
I feel that for sure.
Okay, that might be an overlook that some people are saying, because maybe it's just like a bunch of feeling like a lot of people are liking Samuel over Moore, but I mean, thinking about it, like the Rams didn't really change anything in their secondary from last year, and they were giving up a lot of points, if I remember correctly. Like their front seven's like the core of that defense. That's what makes that defense good. Where like their secondary seemed to be giving up a lot of points, but maybe that's because they played against like KC and some other high flying offenses last year. That sort of like distorted that number.
Yeah, for sure. I think you're hitting the nail on the head there, though. I think it's to blame on their defense as well.
Yeah. So are we liking Todd Gurley at all? I mean, this might be the cheapest you're probably going to get him in like 3 years at $7,900.
Yeah. It looks like they have him projected for 5% ownership, and they have a 25 implied total. I mean, he sucked at the end of last year, but he was hurt too. And they say he's healthy now. I'm gonna pepper him in.
I also don't mind like because we're sort of going with like the Millie Maker. We got to have some flyers type deal, like even taking Henderson Jr. randomly, because like if they're sort of like taking it easy on him, he gets a 60-40 roll and keeping him healthy. Like Henderson could easily vulture a touchdown or two randomly.
Yeah,
that could be a thing.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a big Henderson fan. Thinking Gurley would be this week, but I don't know. It's not really looking like that anymore. It's looking different than it did a month ago.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like it seems like Gurley's like 70-30 maybe, but I honestly think like if they do it right, like he would be a 60-40 back, which is fine because he's going to be healthy. What about we talked a little bit about Greg Olsen. What about Everett or Higbee on Los Angeles? No, we're just going
I don't want to mess with it.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's just too much of a dart right there.
Well, I'll play some low on darts, but I have no interest in those guys.
Okay.
Maybe they catch a ball for 7 yards and a touchdown, but I'll be fine missing out on that.
Yeah, super high touchdown dependent type deal right there. Okay.
Sure.
That makes sense. And Jared Goff, like with Gurley's situation, Goff might be playable, but the more you look at it, the more you want to play Cam over Goff, and he's only 300 more.
Yeah, for sure. Cam over Goff.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Full agree.
And obviously we're not going to play either one of these defenses. And one of the highest totals of the week.
Nah.
I'm good on that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's go on to the next game. We got Tennessee at Cleveland. Cleveland's is -6 favorite with the over-under of 45.5. This is pretty interesting. I think me and Dustin were talking about it. This defense might actually be like up there as like one of the chalkiest defenses because Mariota is just known like for turnovers because he's just not healthy.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a few chalky defenses in here, and it's funny because I think one of them is going to be against Mariota, and the other one might be against about that one later. Cleveland's offense in this, I'm super interested in Mayfield. I'm super interested in Odell Beckham.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like a lot outside of that though. All last year when Mayfield got the start with Kitchens, he was spreading the ball out like crazy. Didn't finish a game throwing the ball to less than 7 different players over the last 8 weeks. So he's spreading the ball out immensely. Chubb is interesting, but the Titans were also ranked 2nd in DVOA against running back pass catchers last season. So I'd love to sprinkle some Chubb in, but I don't think I want to be as heavy on him as the field
Yeah, there seems to be some
Yeah,
better options
no
at
doubt.
6,400 than
Yeah.
Wicked Chubb. Yeah.
But really, I know it's kind of lazy to say, but the Browns, I want Baker and Odell Beckham, and I don't really want anyone else.
Yeah. Like, it seemed like Landry sort of set aside because even though him and Mayfield had great chemistry, here comes Odell Beckham, one of the greatest wide receivers right now, and it's just like, you know, if he's like just single coverage, you're going to throw it to Beckham over Landry majority of the times, I would imagine.
Uh,
Um,
and I mean, if Landry does get 8 targets, we know what those 8 targets are worth. That might only be 60 air yards, so that's not what we want in a tournament.
well, I would think is am I mistaken? Is Landry like is he like a nice big red zone target? Like he could be a nice red zone target for them over Joku, like as like a second option.
Yeah,
He might
I
he might
think.
be a touchdown dependent flyer.
Yeah, I mean he gets a lot of targets, but Odell Beckham's there now. I'm with Justin. Like I just want Mayfield and Beckham, but I really just I'll have Beckham in lineups, but I don't think I'm going to play any Mayfield. I don't think they're just going to go there and light up Titans.
Yeah, I mean they could because the Titans front seven is strong, sort of like the Rams that we just talked about. Like the front seven or run defense is there, it's on lock, but in the air, they're giving up, was it say, 22nd overall for points, fancy points. So for wide receivers, so Odell might have a good game. I sort of just want to fade almost everyone else in this game. The only
Yeah.
other interesting thing is Dion Lewis at 4,700. If Titans get down, they're going to be throwing a lot. Dion Lewis, we've seen him be very productive when he's got the ball in his hands. And this might be that dart where you pay 4,700. It's kind of pricey for a dart, but
Right.
I mean I'm sure his percentage has got to be like 1%. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a little too low, but
No, no.
I see it as
He's
like
projected
one.
to be 0.01%, so it'll just
Yeah.
be you playing him and nobody
there you
else,
go.
and for good reason too.
And I'll be once he gets that touchdown, that 60-yard catch for a touchdown, I'll be and so celebrating and enjoying my million.
In in the punt play realm, I like Delaney here. So I'm
Yeah.
probably going to be punting a lot. He's a
Um,
3,500.
Oh
I
yeah.
think Derrick Henry's a good punt.
Uh, Touchdown
Five
punt for sure.
five 5% owned. I mean, you can run on Cleveland, and at times, so I would throw that out there.
Okay. Yeah, so essentially on Titans, you're really only going to target, or you're only going to play the two running backs, Henry and Deion Lewis, and then you have Delaney Walker, and that's essentially their best three players on that offense. Not discount Mariota, but that's definitely something.
I'll,
But
I'll,
I didn't even
I'll
think about
discount
that.
Mariota.
That's a super discounted Delaney Walker. Like I remember last
Yeah.
year, like he was like a top
Yeah.
three, top five price tight end. That's interesting. I might have to play more Delaney Walker. Okay. All right. So Cleveland's defense seems pretty lockish or chalkish, and then everyone else you sort of want to sprinkle in if
Yeah.
you're feeling saucy. All right. So we're going to go on to the next game. This is an interesting game. This is definitely one of the few interesting games of this week. KC at Jacksonville. Kansas City is a 4-point favorite with the over-under at 52. And I think that's the highest. Yeah, it is the highest. Um, I definitely like Nick Foles this year and Dede Westbrook. I am super high on Dede Westbrook and season long. So I think with how the Rams didn't really play good pass defense last year, that this might be a Dede Westbrook game, and he's priced at 4,800, which is a pretty nice tag on like a cheap flyer that can seems like he has good upside. He's the number one wide receiver there.
I think for on a KC stack, which I'm sure is going to be very popular and for good reason. Like Westbrook is absolutely the dude on the other end. Mahomes, Tyree, Kelsey. Like
Williams.
getting
Yeah. Now here's something interesting. Kelsey has the best matchup wise. Just looking at their from last year's numbers on DK, 17th to tight ends is what Jacksonville allowed in fantasy points. Where running backs is ninth, quarterbacks is ninth, and wide receivers is third least. Now I think Tariq Hill is definitely an outlier, and with those numbers because he can catch the ball 15 yards down the field and break another 30 yards down the field or just get a touchdown.
I think he'll get the Ramsey treatment, but that will make his ownership better.
Oh yeah, like
I get the Ramsey
the
treatment.
contrarian play. Yeah, I can see that. What does Roto Grinders have Tariq Hill at for ownership?
Let's see.
I see him at like 17 on
13%.
Oh, that's kind of high, even with the.
Yeah, that's like kind of chalky.
Yeah, that might be a good fade, to be honest with you, because like you don't know. It seems like Jacksonville's defense seems wishy washy last year, but that might be because their offense just was not there at all, so they couldn't really do anything with all that field advantage that they had. Um, a lot of talk so far this preseason is Fournette at 6,100. This is probably the cheapest he's been ever since he's been in the league, maybe off of injury. At 6,100, that seems like a really good price to have Fournette.
They did ship Yeldon out, so what would presumably be funneled back to Fournette, who was missing a lot of third down snaps last year. Way rather have Fournette than Williams. Like I don't know if I'm just being narrative based or what, but I'm LaShawn McCoy coming in this offense. I think he's going to touch the ball like 10 or 12 times.
Mm-hmm.
When Damian Williams.
That might even be the low side too, man. Like, well, maybe not the low side, but that's a good average because like LaShawn McCoy's back with Andy Reid. There's that narrative. Andy Reid loves his former Eagles players. Like he did work with who was it, Matthews or Macklin? One of those two. With Alex Smith.
Maybe both. Definitely Macklin.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did have both on that team. Yeah. Yeah. So I definitely like Fournette at this price. Like that is definitely really appealing to just put him in a couple lineups here and there. Let's see. And we talked about Westbrook. I'm not liking anyone else because I just don't know. Like, Keelan Cole at 3,400 might be a good thing. Marquise Lee, 4,400. Marquise Lee probably seems overpriced to me just because I see Didi at 4,800. Like, I'm not going to pay 44 for Marquise Lee unless I think they're just going to air the ball out with Nick Foles there, which they definitely can.
Yeah.
But that's another good thing about Fournette that I like too this year. Because they have Nick Foles, they have a confident quarterback. They seem to have a decent O-line. Like, that's going to lighten the load that's going to be handed to Fournette. Like, they don't need him. They don't need to call the run up the middle every single time because, you have Blake Bortles in the backfield and you're like, I don't know what to do type of situation. So I think Nick Foles sort of helps Fournette out a lot. Like, keeps him healthier, keeps him fresher. You have a better quarterback, just all in all. Man, his price point too, 5,300.
I actually kind of like Marquise Lee. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm just looking at these matchups here, and someone's going to get Rashad Breeland, and he's terrible, man. And
is he normally a slot guy, or is he
He's a outside cornerback.
Okay. So
either Westbrook or Lee is going to burn him, and I'd take Lee with, absolutely.
You're sort of
zero ownership, yeah.
He's a full participant. But yeah, I love Didi, man. He's 6%. He's still a good tournament play, but I'd play a little bit of Lee too.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Sprinkle both those guys in there, maybe even some Cole.
And I like Nick Foles a lot too. 5,300. I was reading something where most of the Millionaire Maker winning lineups always pay down at quarterback. It's like a trend. They're always spending less than like 5,800 on quarterback.
Which makes sense because your goal is to get 5x or more. So the cheaper you can spend a quarterback, they're hitting like 20 points. That's always a good thing. But like Nick Foles, like we know he could put up some numbers, even though last year he's averaging 17 points. I mean, he really didn't have to do a lot of work in Philly last year with all those running backs and everything like that. But I mean, I definitely like Nick Foles at 5,300. Like his price point definitely makes me want to fade Mahomes and play more Nick Foles. Like have like Mahomes at like 5-7% and Nick Foles around like 13ish, somewhere around there.
You think he'll be 13% owned?
Out of 150 lineups, I would
okay,
not
your
mind.
lineups.
What's up?
You're talking about your lineups.
Yeah, like out of 150 lineups, I wouldn't mind more than I would like 20 lineups with Nick Foles in them.
Sure.
I can see that.
You also do the backward stack too to put Foles out there and see and Sammy Watkins.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey, I don't see him not covering Tyreek Hill, or at least Tyreek Hill getting double covered. So this could be a super good game for Watkins.
I think they'll definitely have him follow, but this also would be the first week of my life where I thought Tyreek Hill was going to goose egg and he scores 35 points.
Yeah, man, that guy's just something else. All right. So obviously we don't like either defenses here being the highest total. I mean, if it's going to be interception, I mean, Mahomes can throw multiple interceptions in a game, but
No, we're not playing. We're not playing a defense against Mahomes. Let's just move on.
Well, unless they're Denver or Patriots. The only three teams that held the Chiefs last year to 30 points or less. All right.
Damn.
It's a crazy set.
Yeah. And they were both like, it was all four games were like 27, 28, 30, and I think 28 again. It's just amazing.
Good offense.
Right. We talked a little bit about Kelsey. I mean, you know what you're getting there. Like, just a super stud and a half. All right. So we're going to move on to Baltimore at Miami. Baltimore's a 7-point favorite. Over under at 37.5. This is definitely the lowest total of the weekend because you essentially have a super defensive team playing against a team of backups. It seems like
the worst team in the league, actually. Yes.
Yeah, like they traded. Like there's a stat I saw or article I saw. Like the Miami Dolphins calendar they made for this coming year, they've already traded like 9 of the 12 players featured in that calendar. Like their offensive linemen, they got rid of. Who was it? Kenny Stills just got traded.
Yeah, Larry Tunsil and Kenny Stills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's definitely like the only side I ever won in this game is Baltimore side. I would imagine.
But yeah, this is a trash game.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's like you look at Ingram at 5,100.
Yeah.
That just makes me want to just put him in almost all my lineups.
For sure. And then kind of disproven as of late, but play well, first of all, the Ravens defense should be the chalkiest play on the slate, like bar none.
Mm-hmm.
Not even just defense, like any player, the chalkiest. And then matching him with Mark Ingram, like.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's just like, yeah, you can just go the quote unquote cash route or cash game route where you just go Ingram, Ravens defense, and then make the rest of your lineups, and then you're only spending what 8,900 between those two players. So you're not even spending 10,000 on those two pretty top plays, even though the Ravens are the top defense on the board.
Sorry. Baltimore has the worst implied total at 15.5 on the whole slate. So definitely Ravens D, maybe Mark Ingram, but other than that, I don't think there's much else to
Yeah.
glean from that.
Like, the only other thing, if you're feeling saucy, Mark Andrews, or is it Mark Andrew? Yeah, Mark
Yeah.
Andrews
Mark Andrews,
at
yeah.
3,000 might be a thing. Might be. Because since they have a low implied total, like, they're just dinking and dunking the ball, getting field goals, they're not scoring touchdowns. You can get Andrews a lot of usage out of there. But yeah, I sort of agree with you. It does not feel right, even saying that at 3,000. It's just,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I got one disgusting play.
What's that?
Oh yeah.
I'm
let's
definitely
hear
going to
it.
be overweight on this dude. Is Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be throwing the ball as far as he possibly can for 4 quarters, and I'm taking Albert Wilson
Nice.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah. Man, that's,
for 3,900%
yeah.
owned. And, I mean, he might for 12 yards or something, but I mean, they're gonna be behind from the word go. Ryan Fitzpatrick does not give a crap. He's just gonna be chucking it as far as he can.
Hey, he won someone $1 million last year.
You
That
might
is
as well do
true.
it again.
And to be honest with you, Miami +7 with you saying about Fitzmagic and everything, like, that looks like an okay bet.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Also,
A fun bet
over
at
3
least.
interceptions is an
It's
okay
definitely a
bet
fun
too.
bet. It's definitely like I need something entertaining right now during the 1 p.m. games. Miami +7. Let's go. Yeah, poor Albert Wilson. He went from the Chiefs to Miami, but
Yeah.
that might be good at 3,900. All right.
Be playing out of the slot too on
Ooh,
a 3 wide.
that could be interesting.
3 wide.
All right, so we're just going to move on to the next game. Obviously, Ingram and Baltimore's defense are the only two plays really out of that, and they're probably some of the chalkiest plays too this week. Maybe not Ingram, but definitely the Baltimore's defense. All right, so we got the Atlanta Falcons at Minnesota Vikings. Vikings are a 4-point favorite with the over/under at 48. This has been a very interesting game because I have no idea what's going to happen.
This would be an interesting one. I think this could be like a sneaky shootout game.
Yeah.
It could
We'll
easily be a
see.
sneaky shootout, but then you have like Miami's defense, which is actually really good. Atlanta doesn't really have a defense. Have they really improved that much?
Not really. A big spot where the Falcons have not improved and have not improved for years now is defending the pass in the middle of the field.
Whoa, last year, just according off
Well,
of DraftKings, they've given up the 32nd most. So essentially, the most fantasy points to running backs.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
that's
always like that.
in the
Jeez.
past.
So
They've been,
Dalvin Cook's only 6,000.
yeah, dude. That's the spot. That's the one. I think that's the
Yeah.
play here. The only thing that I'm worried about is not for Dalvin Cook, but just for game flow, is if Minnesota is going to run the ball 30, 32 times, then it's going to kill the Falcons' offense. They've just fired their offensive coordinator for passing the ball too much in the middle of the season last year. All they want to do is run the ball.
That's so silly. Like, Julio Jones didn't get any touchdowns, and he was still what, the number? He was definitely top 3 wide receiver in fantasy, which is kind of amazing. So I guess with Minnesota's defense, are we even looking at Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Sanu, Freeman at all? Are we looking at any of these?
Not really. I think Joe on a good point. I mean, I could see that game. Matt Ryan can
You're breaking up a little bit.
times. Oh, sorry. I was just saying that the game is at home and you got Matty Ice, comeback mode. But really, I just stack the Vikings. I'll do a full game stack here, or a full team stack. Cousins, Cook, and the 2 big receivers too.
Ooh, I just saw another interesting play. At 3,900
Ugh.
wide receiver, Mr. Josh Doxson has found a home in Minnesota.
Yeah.
He's got to be playing slot too. I mean, he seems like a good slot guy, right? Or was he an X factor?
Don't play him.
Don't play him.
I think Chad Beebe's
Don't
getting
bother
that
playing him.
spot.
You think so? Yeah, because now thinking about it, Doxson was like the X receiver on the skins. With the skins, I mean, like
Just
you're a wide
Treadwell.
receiver, you're probably number one. you got to name that someone.
You made the
remembers.
team.
All right, so we're obviously not going to play either defenses, even Vikings defense. Like that just does not look appealing against Atlanta.
No.
Tight ends, you got Kyle Rudolph, Austin Hooper. Like, not really anyone. Like Kyle Rudolph could be a thing at 3,300. That's a decent price for him, I think, for the skill. But
Sure.
nothing really exciting there. Matt Ryan at 6,100. Kirk Cousins 5,500.
I like
Yeah,
Ryan
I
a
like
lot,
Cousins. You like Ryan?
Yeah.
I can see that. Like he doesn't like turning over the ball a lot, but he is willing to. It's like sort of like the Fitzmagic scenario, except he's smarter. Like he actually thinks before he throws.
I like naked Cousins. I like naked Cousins and naked Ryan.
Sure.
Yeah, because
I'm really big on Cousins. I think he'll probably be my third highest owned quarterback.
I mean,
Wow,
at that
okay.
price point, playing against a terrible defense, I mean, that definitely makes sense. What is his ownage looking at?
5%. So he's not chalk at all, and he's cheap, and they got a high total. So I'm gonna have a lot of exposure.
Like a Cousins Cook.
Oh,
Pair
it
in
is
there.
supposed to rain there. Oh, but it's in the dome.
The
am I talking
dome.
about? Why does it say that? Does Minnesota play outside now?
Oh, wow, you're right. It does say that.
Yeah, I could have sworn they played in a dome, but they had like
They
a
do.
snow issue. Okay, so it's just raining there.
We're not getting into the 4-year-old snow issue.
No.
Man,
Well, I mean, like
That was
they
one of the
changed
most
stadiums
hilarious.
since then, so I don't know, like if it's like a brand new stadium where they're going to open the top when it's raining. It's just like that's weird.
You're
I've
gonna
never seen
open the
that.
top when it's raining.
Yeah, like I just never seen a rain status for a dome game. It usually just says
It's-
dome. Like
to bring the elements in.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
gotta get some elements going in there, man.
get
All
everyone
right,
scared.
I think we're good on this game.
Yeah. So, next game is Buffalo at New York Jets. Jets are a 3-point favorite with the over/under being at 41. This is another interesting game because I have no idea which way this is going to go. Me and Dustin were talking the other day. He made a good point. Sam Darnold loves throwing interceptions. So,
Yes.
do you like taking Buffalo's defense here? That could be a defense that you take to be like contrarian.
I think the Bills are fine. You could definitely talk me into that.
Yeah.
I love John Brown, and that's just about it.
Yeah, I definitely like John Brown. 4,300 seems about right. We're not. What about Zay Jones? He was supposed to be a decent flyer from last year, right?
I want Zay Jones.
9 targets. His last game. I don't know how relevant this is. 6 catches out of 9 targets, 93 yards, 2 touchdowns. But
Some good.
I don't know
numbers.
if Kelvin Benjamin was playing in that game or not. But all right. So what about Bell? That seems to be the other like loose cannon.
I kind of like Beasley a little bit. I'm gonna have a little bit of him. He caught a lot of passes in the preseason.
Okay. But besides like the sprinkles of like maybe you sprinkle Zay Jones,
Sure.
maybe not. Yeah, there seems to be better.
Oh, I
streamers.
will.
You will. I remember you were a big.
Yeah, dude.
But what about Le'Veon Bell? 7,100. Last year, the Buffalo Bills were the 24th for giving up the most fantasy points. So, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, they're definitely one of the worst teams giving up fantasy points to running backs. I meant. So That might be a thing.
Yeah, they could also uh, grabbed him. I don't know. That's all. It's so narrative driven. It's just the same thing with like Oakland, who I know we're not talking about today, but like be like 17 targets, right? Like, are the Jets going to justify their signing by just
Just
like
funneling him the
28
ball and everything
touches?
like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, like, I definitely don't see like. I think if you have any percentage of Le'Veon Bell, it's not wrong unless it's like killing your lineups where you can't make other good plays. Like 5%. Le'Veon Bell doesn't seem terrible.
Not at all. I think you can go higher than that too, even.
Yeah, I have 150 lineups, 15, so 10%.
Yeah.
Yeah, like anywhere around there, 5 to 10. You're not really handcuffing yourself to like a bunch of 3K flyers when he's priced at 7,100 because the talent that you're getting there, for sure.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
I definitely don't want either one of the running backs on the other side of the ball unless it's just like
No.
super stretch. But at 3,800 for Gore, 3,600 for Singletary, I mean, you don't even know who's starting, what's going on. So we don't like the quarterbacks. I take it.
No, I'm gonna have some Josh Allen because you have to, man. That guy,
Yeah.
he can really break the slate. So I'm gonna have a
can
little
ball
bit of
out if you want
ownership.
to. Okay. Well, I mean, like, all right. So Josh Allen at 5,600, or who was it? Nick Foles at 5,500.
I'd go Foles.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
just was it
Like
Foles
them
at 50,
feet.
5,300. Yeah. So you get a super discounted Foles at 300 less. Yeah. But I mean, I guess you can just switch it up and put some Allen in there because if he's feeling himself, he's definitely in there. So do you think the Jets are just -3 because of Bell and it's at New York? That's got to be the only reason then.
Yeah, they're both kind of bad teams, man.
Yeah.
They're just not gonna score. They don't. They have bad offenses and decent defenses. It's gonna be a boring game probably.
So you
I think
splash in
that's
some Bills defense at 3K in some of your lineups and just call it a day.
Yeah.
All right.
I think there will be spots throughout the season to play either or both of these teams, but playing against each other is not the spot.
Yeah, exactly. Because you sort of don't know what's going to happen on either side of the ball. Like they both sort of know, like they both seem like they have okay defenses, but because they play the Patriots twice a year and they're sort of overshadowed by them, you sort of don't know what their production is. And like in Buffalo side of the ball, you don't even know who's is starting running back or who's going to get majority of it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're moving on to Washington at Philly. This is probably the other chalkiest defense this week.
Yeah.
Philly is a 10-point favorite with over under at 45.5. Yeah. Eagles at defense at 3,600 seems like just the chalkiest one out there, or one of them for sure.
Yeah. The Redskins don't have a left tackle. Like,
Oh
Get,
my
give me
God.
give me the best defensive line in the league against a team that doesn't have a left tackle.
Yeah, so that sort of makes it interesting. Like, do you take a wide receiver or a tight end here for Philly?
Sure.
Like, are you afraid of the narrative that is so much of a blowout where they're going to give Miles Sanders reps, they're going to give, Smallwood and Clement some reps, even Sproles? They signed him for a year deal, which is, and Adams is there too? No way. Adams went unclaimed on waivers. Okay. Jets. Okay. Good for Adams. He's on the Jets practice squad. Okay, so like this game could easily be a super blowout, one-sided, where they sort of let Carson Wentz like just take it easy. But this could be a welcome back game. It's like get your MVP trophy this year. Like he was on the track of getting the MVP, and he just third to the last game of the season, he just went out. But now thinking about it, talking about the line, talking about over under, I'm sort of not liking any of the players on the Philly side of the ball just because it's going to be a blowout and they just might run it.
It was just fading all of the Eagles running backs. Sanders with 3,900. Like, I'll take some stabs for sure.
Yeah, I can see like
have some run.
you can just sprinkle in because like Jordan Howard at 4,200, he was productive last year with the Bears, had some injury issues in the last couple of years, but not really anything major that I'm aware of. So the fact that Jordan Howard's cheaper than guys, well, I guess we don't know who's starting officially, or Miles Sanders might be starting. Um, yeah, just a little bit of sprinkle. I'm not really high on anyone. Even Ertz in this game, I'm not really high on, especially at 6,100. He sort of seems like a super fade. Like maybe you want to play him to be a contrarian. Like I'm sure he's probably at like 7% most on Roto.
Oh, Zach Ertz. Yeah.
Yeah, like
I'm good on 6,100.
yeah, 6,100. I mean, that's just for this type of game. It just doesn't seem appealing. And with that said, like I sort of just want to fade Wentz and Keenum because maybe you could probably play Keenum at 4,900 if you think it's just going to be a blowout and he's just going to try to catch up and get a couple touchdowns. But
Nah, there's no chance I'm playing Keenum.
no chance.
He's
going to catch
gonna
the ball?
have 9. He's gonna have 9 fantasy points,
Ooh.
receptions, 200 yards. Yeah, no way.
You don't think Jordan Reed's going to come out of the hospital to make a touchdown catch here and there in this game, or Chris Thompson?
I will. No, there's no way I'm playing any Redskins players.
That's fair. All right, so we'll just go ahead and move on.
Yeah.
So essentially,
Hey, before we move on,
what's that?
I was gonna say I kind of like Aguilar over the middle.
Okay.
Ooh. Man, what about Deshaun Jackson?
Yeah. I mean, any of these wide receivers, one of these wide receivers is gonna catch a long touchdown.
Yeah, right.
So it could definitely be Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
Beating up on his old team.
Deshaun Jackson, 4,500.
Down Nader Street here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, let's go to the next game.
Yeah.
It's 4 p.m. games.
All right. Yep. We're jumping into 4 p.m. games. We have the Colts at the Chargers. Chargers are a 7-point favorite with the over/under at 45. This is another weird game that it seems like we got two decent defenses going against each other. Never mind. I just clicked the wide. So apparently, good secondaries, terrible front sevens. Like Colts last year were 25th in most fantasy points to a player, and then the Chargers are 21st to running backs. So that's kind of interesting. How are we liking Marlon Mack and Eckler?
No, I'm fading the Colts.
You just fading the Colts? No belief in Brissett?
No, I believe in the Chargers defense.
That's fair. Chargers defense is so check out this stat from last year. 22nd most points given to quarterbacks for the Chargers. So that's kind of interesting. I mean, we know Kobe Brissett can throw to T.Y. Hilton, but
Yeah, that might be skewed by a Pat Mahomes game, man.
or two.
He lit them up for like 5 touchdowns. Yeah, I don't want to attack the Chargers defense.
That's fair.
I do want to play some Chargers players on offense though. Like I mean, Eckler is going to be a slam dunk.
Eckler at 5,500 definitely seems there. Now, here's an interesting thing. Eckler already had like his 25% roll last year or whenever Gordon's healthy. He's still in there about like 30% of the times. What about Jordan Jackson at 4,000?
Justin Jackson. Yeah,
Oh,
I like
I'm sorry,
him.
I didn't even click on that. Yep, Justin Jackson. Well, so what do you?
Yeah, he's solid.
Because like Eckler is just not that type of. I think he's not that type of running back where he's not running up the middle. But you have Justin Jackson there to sort of like for the rotation of 60-40, 4K against a bad or a questionable defense against the running backs. I mean, that could definitely be a thing. Let's
Yeah.
see. Tight
I
end.
actually like Justin Jackson a lot. So you've got Austin Eckler, who's going to be 25% owned, absolute chalk. And then you've got Justin Jackson, 2% owned. We don't know what that situation is going to look like. It's just people, you know, thinking they know what's going on. But it could just be Justin Jackson pounding the rock on the
Yeah,
goal line, even, and Austin Eckler in for passing downs like he was before.
yeah, exactly.
Sure.
That's what I
I
think
definitely
because
think Jackson's getting the goal line work. Sneaks in
Yeah.
there for a couple touchdowns, and there's a more than 3% chance that Justin Jackson is in a touchdown, and he's going at percent ownership right now.
Yeah.
Wait on that.
yeah, that
I'm in
definitely
on that.
yeah that seems like a really good play where like if you're ahead of the field and he gets a touchdown, you're definitely in there at 4,000.
Hunter Henry looks like chalk too, 18%.
Yeah,
That's
he's super
well,
chalky.
yeah, 3,900. I mean, that's definitely a good price tag on him for the talent that you're getting for sure. Um, yeah, you could probably play him. I mean, Colts are terrible against tight ends. It looks like. Um, what about any of the wide receivers? It seems like we got a really good secondary battle where Indianapolis is second least for giving up the points, and Indianapolis is, oh, I'm sorry, Chargers are eighth least giving up points to wide receivers. So it looks like we definitely have two teams that are locking down wide receivers from last year at least. Um, Ty at 6,600, Keenan Allen at 7,300 sort of seems like fades because you don't feel that comfortable playing them.
I'll take some
Yeah.
Mike Williams here.
Yeah.
Mike Williams,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm not taking any wide receivers from this game,
You're not taking any.
but I do like both the running backs. I think that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Get me wrong, I'll still eat the chalk on Eckler, but where I don't have Eckler, I definitely don't mind.
Yeah, like I think everyone's just overlooking Jackson and just praising Eckler just because Eckler is number 2 on the roster. He's already seen play and he stepped up when Gordon was out last couple of years, but I don't think he's that type of back because he was already getting his rotation and getting his touches. Like he was getting what 12, 15 looks, I guess. I'm not sure if that's right, but
Yeah, he was getting something like that. 5 to 10 carries, handful of.
yeah, like Baltimore, he got 11. That was a playoff game. Denver, he had 8. 15 against Cincy, 13 against Pittsburgh, 5, 6. I mean, it's definitely. It seems to be averaging like 9-ish. It looks like. So. Yeah, I think Justin Jackson might be the good thing. Okay. So do we like defenses at all? What about the Chargers D at 3,000 against a fresh quarterback, quote unquote?
I like it.
How what's the ownership looking like on that?
Let's see. 12% owned.
Yeah, yeah,
That's pretty chalk.
yeah. They're definitely in my top 5 for like most played this week for sure. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go on to the next one. Oh my God, another blowout game. Cincinnati at Seattle. Seattle is a 9.5 point favorite with an over under of 44. That's a pretty big over under for that big of a dog. Jesus. Cincinnati even going to show up to this game?
That's to be seen.
Yeah, so the big news AJ Green is out for at least week 1. So
I like Chris Carson here, man.
yeah, Chris Carson.
You got a team.
Yeah.
You got a team with a huge total, and you know they like to run the ball. And the Bengals, you can run the ball in the Bengals. So I wouldn't want to overthink it, but I'm interested in other players on the Seahawks. But Chris Carson's the guy that I would look to first.
Chris Carson's like the number 1 that you have circled on the depth chart. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could definitely play Russell Wilson. There's definitely nothing wrong with that. 6,300 seems like was he a top 5 quarterback of the week? If we don't count Andrew Luck, he is top 5. Okay, so you definitely have a lot of talent there with Russell Wilson. Tyler Lockett might be a good play, just because from last year, watching him catch balls, like he was catching everything. He might be the only good guy though in wide receiver, so he might get double coverage, or Seattle just gets up so high where they just run the ball with Carson and Penny. What about Penny at 4,900? That seems a little pricey for a 30 to 40% running back, but I mean that's nothing to ignore, especially if they're just going to run the ball and get ahead.
Definitely on the Rashad Penny train in this game.
Yeah.
I want to be overweight on him.
Okay.
Sorry, what his ownership is.
Why though?
Because if they're going to run, they're the only team in the NFL that ran the ball more than they passed. They could easily have 35 carries between the two of them, still have 15 touches in this game.
Yeah, and essentially the big difference
With
from last year to this year
ownership.
is Doug Baldwin's not on the team, and that's like a superstar. So you got to imagine how many times they're going to be passing without Doug Baldwin on that side of the ball. Like, how many touches is that? Like 10? That just disappears?
Yeah. Most of that went to Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, so I think for
Do you
that
like
reason,
getting the wide
that's sort of-
receivers?
Yeah. Well, what was that,
I
Dustin?
could play. I was asking if you guys liked any of the wide receivers, Lockett or Metcalf, like on the Seattle side.
Well, he's got a
Metcalf's
good
knee is
chance
super
to play
questionable.
Sunday, but we're waiting to see if he's going to be a full go or not until Sunday morning.
Okay.
If he's good. I mean,
If he
if he's
goes,
good.
I like him.
Yeah, I can see that. I definitely don't want to be missing the Metcalf train because the skill there is through the roof. It seems like for a rookie, but I hope he sits out this game because it's just going to be so much of a blowout where a lot of people can't catch on to him yet, and I can just play him next week around this price point of 4,000. Because like once he has that blow up game, he's immediately going to be like a 6,000 wide receiver for his skill.
I feel that. But also, like everyone always says, you want to be early to the party on these guys.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's why I'm sort of hoping like they take it easy for him. Like he only sees like 40% of his normal looks on the field or just plays, because then his knees bothering him. He's taking it easy. He's really out there as a decoy, just a big body decoy. I definitely see Pete Carroll just throw him on the field just as like a decoy to get reps in, work the knee, but not work it heavy.
Yeah.
Man, he's got Drake Kirkpatrick shadowing, or not shadowing, slated to cover him. PFF has him graded at a 60. That's really poor.
Yeah, I think
That's
everyone on this defense
fantastic.
is pretty poor though on secondary. Like,
No, I bet Lockett gets matched up with oh boy, Darquez. Way
so-
better matchup than Lockett will.
we could definitely see some
Yeah.
Metcalf sprinkle in there.
Yes.
Don't like this might be a breakout game for Tyler Eifert, randomly. If you think about the logic, if they're down so much, and for some reason Seattle thinks they're still in it, being 9-10 points down, like Tyler Eifert can get a lot of the looks, at least a lot of targets. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, but doesn't
Good.
he play like a? He has like a snap count, I believe.
Is he on the snap count right now?
Yeah, he does. He's got a pitch count.
Yeah, so I'm not. I have no interest
Okay.
in him.
Yeah.
I would play Tyler Boyd though. I mean, you want to run it back with him? I'm cool
Yeah.
with that, especially with AJ Green being out.
Yeah, being a
Sure.
number one, we know Tyler Boyd can put up some numbers, and he's at 5,800. That could definitely be a narrative you go down. Seattle's defense at 3,100. You're just slam dunking that one as like another chalky one. That's got to be like almost 20% right there.
Yep.
Let's see. They are. I'm looking it up. 8% owned. They're a GPP defense.
Yeah, I definitely like that in the Millie Maker. Just put some Seattle defense in there, hope for turnovers. But I mean, they're not the same defense as before, so they could just be a bend don't break where they're not getting a lot of turnovers. All right.
Yeah,
Seahawks,
I think
they're
it's
legit and
tough.
they're not a very good defense, but the Bengals' offensive line is.
That trash. Yeah.
But yeah, they're super trash.
Yeah. So essentially, like in this game, we're on the Bengals side of the ball. We're like Tyler Boyd. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I don't want Mixon.
Yeah. It just does not sound appealing with being a 9.5 point dogs in a 44 over under game. That's just
Yeah,
like,
right.
man, you guys are only going to put up 10 points. That's not good. All right. So we're going to go to the next game. We got Detroit at Arizona. This is another questionable game that I'm just like looking at, just wondering where I'm going to go. Detroit right now is a minus 2.5 point favorite with the over under at 47. Yeah. It seems like you
This
can
is a
go.
super interesting game.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. I
I
think
mean,
anyone in this slate can go off. Like any of the top 7 players. Yeah. Pretty much Christian Kirk and above can just go off. Christian Kirk, Marvin Jones Jr., Larry Fitz, Stafford, Murray. You got Kerryon Johnson, Kenny Galladay. He can definitely go off. David Johnson. Like, I think those are your probably targets.
I'm
this
fading
game
this
can go.
game. I want to hear what you guys think.
I just think this game can go like two very distinct directions. We all want to see it go where the Cardinals come out and holy crap, the air raid is in the NFL. This is amazing. Or it can go the Detroit Lions are controlling the clock like they've been trying to do the last 2 years, and each team gets like 43 snaps, and we're just out of luck.
That's my word.
But I think that to have pieces here because if we're wrong on the Lions side, then we just have a few dead lineups. If we're right and take the Cardinals, I mean that's a there.
Yeah.
And it's both sides too. The Cardinals don't have Patrick Peterson or Robert Alford, which means they're out of their 2 top cornerbacks. So they're starting because they're third string cornerback. So that's already a boost to the Lions if they do feel like throwing the ball, which would be pretty freaking cool.
Ooh.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of cool stuff going on in this game.
Oh yeah, you're right.
The total's 47.
That's a pretty high total. It's the second highest. 1, 2,
think it's
3,
third.
4. Fourth highest. No, fifth highest. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Man, we got some shootouts this week.
Yeah, but why have the Lions ever been that high?
And yeah.
So the cornerbacks seem like they're all missing for the Cardinals.
Yeah, seriously.
Wow,
And-
I didn't know
and-
that. That's really interesting.
The Cardinals allowed 20 rushing touchdowns to running backs last season. So they're in the run game and they're screwed in the pass game.
Yeah.
I think this goes over 47, and I think this is another one of those sneaky shootouts. Well, I don't know if it's sneaky because the Cardinals are in play, but I don't know. I think there's some stuff to like here.
It's strange
I like
because
the Detroit side after talking about this.
yeah.
Yeah.
You sort of don't know what you're going to get from Arizona, except for you know that they're struggling the defensive side of the ball. The offense side of the ball is just like, you know, David Johnson's, if he's healthy, he's going to give you production. So 7,700 price tag there is going to be good. As far as Murray and Kirk, as their like main two guys on offense, other two offensive juggernauts, like it might not be there because Detroit randomly has. Well, you just said no. I'm sorry. The Cardinal side of the ball is going to be bad. So Charles Slay is probably going to be on Kirk, more likely, right? Or is Slay even
What?
there?
I don't know. I don't know if for the Lions.
You don't know if what?
I don't know if anyone's gonna follow. Like I don't think they have any follow cornerbacks.
Okay, so Slay stays to one side of the field. Type deal.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I think so.
Ooh. Oh no, Crabtree's Michael. Is that Michael
Oh, God.
Crabtree?
Yeah, it's Michael Crabtree. Do not play
my
Michael Crabtree.
God. That could be interesting, especially if
No.
Detroit is that
Don't
banged
do
up.
it. No.
30?
No Crabtree.
What, are you going to play Isabella?
Oh, I'm not playing.
No.
Okay.
I'm not playing any of those dudes.
Yeah, so essentially, like, Galladay you like, Marvin Jones Jr. could
Sure.
blow it up.
I really like Marvin Jones. Legit.
Do you?
Yep.
He seems to always blow up in the first half of the season. And then he sort of, like, peters off at the end. Like,
So against my best, I'm pretty interested in TJ Hawkinson.
Okay. You know,
3,100.
I really like him season long, and yeah, that's not a bad call.
Yeah, I don't know. Rookie tight ends in the first game. It seems pretty ignorant of me, but and if this game is a shootout, like I'll take a $3,100 tight end that no one's going to be on.
Yeah, and he's super talented. They spent a high draft pick on him, so they may want to see if
Yep.
they can get him going. And they really don't have they don't have a receiver. I mean, Galladay, but he's not really like a true number one.
okay.
Yeah.
So just talking about this game in general, we're sort of fading the defenses. But real quick, another interesting fact that I see here is Charles Clay at 2,700 for Arizona. That seems really juicy.
I forgot Ricky Seals was out.
Yeah,
Why does he seem juicy?
because he's Charles.
Just because
Clay.
he's cheap?
Charles
Yeah, but
Clay.
he didn't do jack last year.
I mean, it's just not last year, but I mean, he's capable of having 2 touchdown games. He's that big body guy that needs to learn how to catch sometimes, but like,
Yeah.
let's see, last year he really didn't do anything. So
Well,
Exactly.
I don't know how often the Cardinals are going to have tight ends on the field.
because
legit.
they're probably running 3 wide receiver sets.
3 and 4 wide with David Johnson out of the backfield.
Good lord! Oh, that means our boy Crabtree's on the field if they're going 4.
Stop.
I'm going to have to get some Crabtree.
At 3,400. I mean, it definitely seems like a spicy one where you just throw it on there because you stack the rest of the roster with full studs. It's like 3,400.
Yeah.
All
All
right. Let's hope you go.
All right,
off.
enough about Crabtree. Let's go to the
All right.
next game.
So the next game we have the New York Giants at Dallas. Dallas is a 7-point favorite with the over/under at 45. I'm sure that that spread of 7 points is going to go up ever since Zeke locked in his contract. So that's what we got right there. What do we like with this game?
I heard, just as a little tangent, I was just listening to a podcast today that someone said there were only 2 running backs line more than a half a point. And I think they're both in this game. That just running backs are not respected in Vegas either. But inside here real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
6th and 4th against wide receiver 1s and wide receiver 2s respectively last year. And I'm sorry, in Football Outsiders DVOA. And 26th against tight ends and running backs respectively. Running backs being out of the backfield is just eliminating wide receivers on the Giants, which is a pretty easy task to do anyways. Paying my attention to Evan Ingram and Saquon.
Yeah, I mean that essentially that's all I want on the Giants side of the ball. You got Saquon at 9,000. He's got to be the second highest wide or running back on this slate. Yeah, and then Elliott's the other expensive one.
All right, yeah.
So 9,200 for Elliott. Yeah, I mean, I really don't want anyone else on the Giants side of the ball. So let's just go. I mean, there's nothing really to talk about. Like Sterling Shepard
All right.
is battling injuries, and who knows what's. Well, I mean, we pretty much know what's going to happen this game, but like New York Giants doesn't have anyone. They have Latimer. Is that Russell? Russell Shepard? Oh, nice. He's still in the league. Okay, good for him.
Got all the Shepherds.
Fowler. Oh, they got Fowler out there. Okay. So yeah, only like Ingram, Barkley on this side of the ball. I mean, Barkley is like you know what you're getting with the skill there, but being so far down, they might just sit him like second half, third quarter, fourth quarter type deal.
And I don't think they'll sit him.
Even if they're like 20 points down.
Yeah, I guess if they're 20 points down, but I don't want to predict that far.
I mean, it is an in division game, but it's just like with man, that's a tough one because like majority of it's like David Johnson 3 years ago, where like majority of the yardage, touchdowns, and everything just flowed through him. That's what Barkley is going to be for this team. Maybe a little bit less when Golden Tate comes back, but okay.
Ingram too.
Yeah, Ingram. Yeah, you got Ingram, but I mean, like, I can't see the Giants' offense being like 60% of the yards, or less than 60% of the yards being not Ingram. I mean, not Ingram. Not Barkley. Like, I feel like he's going to be 60% in that production on that offense this year, just with how bad everything is.
Sure, I think that in the signs point to that extremely in this game too. So I think Barkley will probably be quite chalky, and I'll eat the chalk. I don't mind.
Sure,
I'll have him 15-20%. I don't care. He's gonna get touches.
Yeah. I mean, and you know what you're getting, and paying $9K, paying up for him is never a bad thing. All right, so let's look at the other side of the ball. We got Dak Prescott at 5,900. Seems tempting.
Love it.
A questionable secondary.
Mm.
We were talking about paying down for quarterbacks, even though I think he's right outside. He's like the 6th or 7th most expensive quarterback this slate, so... we have Ezekiel Elliott. He is playing. 9,200 is definitely the top running back. It's going to be chalk. It's going to be at like 15%. But, I mean, that's the good kind of chalk you want. It's not like the bad ones.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Amari Cooper at 7,000. Seems okay-ish. Like, doesn't seem terrible.
He's been injuries, but... it looks like he'll be fine.
This year, he had a foot practice, or a foot issue, practiced fully. Yeah, he pretty much seems fine. So, I hope he is fine. I have him in a couple season-long leagues, so.
Yeah.
But, I mean, 7K for Amari Cooper in this matchup, there definitely seems like a lot of better spots, but I don't know, maybe there's not. We haven't really talked about a lot of wide receivers where we're like slam dunk, and we're always like paying down around like 5K, high threes, like 38, 37 for wide receivers. So if you want to pay up for a wide receiver, Amari Cooper might be your man this week. You have Odell, Julio, Mike Evans, Hill, Allen, then Cooper. So, 1,100 difference between Odell and Cooper. I could see them scoring the same amount of points. So.
That's a good differentiate. I'm not huge on Cooper this week, but differentiation right there.
Yeah, like when you just look, like I just looked at the list of wide receivers and just at the top 5, top 6, even with Cooper in there. It's just like I don't see anyone that's just like I gotta play him. It's just like all right, I could play Julio, play Odell, play Amari Cooper. It's nothing's really exciting.
Well, we'll get to that. There's one that's super exciting.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and
like, after talking about it, it's just like all right. There's one guy we gotta talk about. Defense. Cowboys. Defense.
hang on.
All right, what's up?
Let me jump in here, okay? Because I'm going to let you guys know my top player for the week.
Yes,
Oh,
is it Michael Gallup?
This is my deep shot kind of flyer dude, and I've got some notes here that I just wanted to share with you. So, Blake Jarwin is practicing again. Jason Witten's going to be on a snap count. Zeke Elliott is coming back from his holdout.
Yes.
Week 17 last year, they played the Giants, and Zeke sat out that game.
Yes.
Jarwin had 7 receptions for 119 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jarwin has, this is all according to Player Profiler, but his production premium is 4th best. His target separation is 2nd best. And his volatility rating this week is highest. So at 0.01% owned, I'm going to have a shitload of them.
Yes. I love it.
You do?
I mean, that's
So
especially
crazy.
with Jason Witten on a snap count. Like that definitely seems like a really sharp play right there.
So I'm stacking this game.
Yes.
So we're just going to throw Elliott, Jarwin, and Dak up there.
And Saquon Barkley.
Yes.
Oh, it's Saquon. Okay.
Yes.
Bringing it back
And-
with the only dude.
Put
Yeah,
Gallup
everyone
in there
should.
too, man. Why not? He's 4,300.
Oof.
Oh yeah, Gallup for sure. Yeah.
Let him get
some-
you 15 points.
You really think Gallup's going to get you 15 points? Okay.
Not hard
Why
to
not?
do. He's got
Yeah.
Man, I swear, I feel like I was a year early on Gallup. Like I was super high on Gallup last year, but he was also a rookie, I think,
Yeah.
last year.
He's going to be good this year. But watch.
it. If Randall
No
Cobb
one's gonna
scored
be on
a
him.
touchdown in this game, I'm throwing my computer away.
Yeah.
God, watch Jarwin get like 2 touchdowns, and then we won't ever hear the end of it from Dustin for the rest of the year.
Oh, yeah.
He'll
That's
be rolling
that's
his
the
$1 million
idea.
like, oh, feel so good in a bed of $1 million bills. Or, yeah, we got the point. All right, so
Good coin.
with
We're
that
not
said,
playing the defenses here.
Oh.
you're not liking Cowboys D?
Nah.
Nah.
Yeah, I guess it's okay. It's fine.
They're,
The
they're not.
the Giants-
They're, oh, go ahead.
The Giants have a much improved offensive line, so they're not trash like they were last year.
Okay, that's something to think about.
My
I didn't even think about
My problem with Cowboys defense is their price, 3,500. I would rather play the Browns for 100 less or the Ravens for 300 more.
Yep.
That's fair. And then you got the Eagles. You have the Chargers. You definitely have a lot of other defenses out there that seem better spots. Because who knows? They might be able to hold the Giants to like 13, 16 points, that range. But that's just because they're a terrible team and not because they're getting turnovers. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay. So we got the last game of the Sunday slate.
The best game.
This is the freaking hammer.
So we got San Francisco at Tampa Bay. As when I wrote these lines down, it's an even line, so it's even money on both sides for the spread.
Still
Over
is,
under
too.
is at 51. That is a whopper of a over under. That's higher than Rams Carolina. That's higher than Atlanta at Minnesota, and it's only second to KC at Jacksonville. All right, boys. You guys want to talk about this? Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Tell me what you like. Well,
Well,
Tell me
Chris
what you don't
Godwin is
like.
chalk city. He's 26% projected ownership here. Mike Evans only 11%.
Oh, Mike
So-
Evans, let's go.
Yeah, man. big body touchdown maker. Yeah, sign me up.
I like Godwin too here, but jeez.
Sure.
Yeah, Mike Evans at 7,900,
God,
where
Mike Evans is.
the third most expensive running back, but there's only 100 difference between the top two or top three. Yeah,
I like the full game stack here, like Justin was talking about earlier with that Detroit game. But this is the game where I'm gonna have some full game stacks with like 2 wide receivers from both teams and a quarterback. Just stack it up.
Would you throw Jimmy G on the stack too? Because
Yeah, for sure, man.
at 5,800, he is playing against a terrible defense. That doesn't seem like they improved.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm absolutely playing Jimmy G. I like Jimmy G and Marquise Goodwin.
Yes. Absolutely. Man, Goodwin is such a good play. Price where crap the bed, it doesn't matter. But if he doesn't crap the bed, you're just sitting in the money. You're just living in a bathtub filled with gold. 4,000. Oh man, I just love this game. You could do Kittle with Goodwin and Garoppolo, or do Goodwin, Kittle, Winston on the other end. Like, oh man, there's no running game for Tampa Bay, so you don't have to think about it.
Exactly.
You don't have to think about either of these dudes. And then I'm all for just flip-flopping and 15% of my lineups and Coleman and the other 15%. I like this game a lot. This is going to be
What about Pettis?
I do like
him too.
Especially after he got kind of just off season. I would have to imagine people are going to be off him.
Yeah. 3% owned.
Yeah, really? 3%?
Yep.
Oh, I was thinking like 8 or something. Yeah, 3%. For sure, dude. Man.
How are we liking OJ Howard? He seems to be a stud there.
Man, Howard, Kittle. I totally forgot about Howard.
I mean, you can always rock in flex position.
I like Kittle a whole lot here.
Yeah, Kittle. I think Kittle is like for me all off season, and now that I'm looking at these individual game slates where it's just Kelsey, Kittle, and then a huge drop off, and then Ertz and 4 other dudes. Like, I'm not that high on Ertz. I think Kelsey and Kittle are the best tight ends in the league, and it's not close.
So this is an interesting note on here. This is from September 1st. John Lynch, the GM of the 49ers, said, or he suggested that Kittle could play fewer snaps this season.
Really?
Yeah, this here. A stated goal of ours this year was to have some people around Kittle. Okay, so essentially, John Lynch's not the coach, so we could take that however we want to, but he says he doesn't want to use Kittle that much. He doesn't want to funnel everything through Kittle, which is a good sign for your wide receivers that you guys were talking about with Pettis and Goodwin.
Yeah. But I still want Kittle. I don't care what they say.
No, you definitely, you're paying $6,600 for a tight end. If you're that gung-ho about a tight end that priced up, I mean, you definitely are getting a lot of skill, a lot of, your ceiling's super through the roof in that position at that price point.
What's even dumber about this matchup is, for better or for worse, I'm still just fine playing either of these defenses. That the over-under is through the roof. No one's going to be playing these guys. They're just going to be passing the whole damn game.
This sort of feels like some of those Fitzpatrick's games last year, or I guess any of the games that he's ever played quarterback at, where it could just be a gung-slinging, who cares if we turn over the ball, we're going to keep throwing and keep doing our thing, and just
about like the infamous Chiefs-Rams game last year. They both scored 42, 45 points or whatever. There was pick sixes and fumble sixes and sacks.
Yeah.
Because all they were doing was just chucking the ball. They were dropping back 7 steps, holding onto the ball and throwing it as far as they could.
That's interesting.
God, that was a good
super
game.
Cheap.
Yeah.
They're both. Is that minimum $2,200? I guess minimum's $2,000.
2,000, but yeah.
Yeah, they're down there.
I mean,
They're
it's
both
definitely the ownership's got to be not
Makes
even
your
up
lineup
there.
unique.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
like
And I'm not
the
saying
ownership chart says NA on it. It's like,
it's like no thanks, please don't pick these. But I think those are both perfectly fine defenses to play too.
God,
Like
I really like that.
you can go almost any direction on San Francisco side of the ball, and like
yeah,
even Breida at 4K. Right now,
yeah, I
the
like
rumors are saying
Burrito.
that he's starting. And yeah, right here. As of September 3rd, Breida is listed ahead of Tevin Coleman on a depth chart. At 4K as starting running back? That could be saucy, especially in a high-powered game like this.
Thing about Breida is if he like gets a concussion and breaks a leg and loses a finger, he'll still keep playing.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
so he's
tough.
the new Frank Gore?
Yes. He was on every injury report last year, and I think he missed like two games. It's literally everyone in this game.
Man, that's crazy. And then you have Tevin Coleman at 5,000. I almost like fading Tevin. Well, no, you're probably going to have some Tevin Coleman. But like, Breida definitely seems like a really like under the radar play right here.
Yeah.
Like it's almost on not quite on the same level as the defense call. Man, that seems insane.
So here's the ownership for those two running backs. Coleman 10%, Breda 3%.
Yeah, that's crazy. A starting running
Yeah.
back is less than.
And they're both super cheap.
Yeah. So I know we're talking about the main slate here. Playing like the afternoon slate. I think it was crazy to play like Coleman and Breida on the same in that like 5-game slate.
Oh yeah.
God, yeah, just have both of them. Even though, well,
Because it's like 9,000, so you're paying pretty much Saquon Barkley price for. I don't know.
that's an interesting way to look at it because if you think about it, you have Carson, Elliott, David Johnson, Kerryon Johnson, Saquon Barkley on the same slate. So those guys are going to be super cheap compared to those guys.
Yeah.
Super low ownership. Well, maybe not low on just the afternoon one, but that's a very interesting thing where you can just stack all the flyers. Like you can have like Keenan Allen or let's see here. There's really not a lot of, I guess, Amari Cooper, Lockett, Cooper, Allen. But you have three running back or three wide receivers with those two running backs at super cheap.
You could still throw Barkley in your flex.
Oh god, that'd be gross. And then why not just put Jimmy G up there? Just like, all right, have fun. All right, that's the end of the 12-game slate. It's a pretty big slate. We definitely went long, that's for sure. We're going to try to trim it down next time, but
We'll work on it.
yeah, we're definitely working on it. This is my first time ever talking to Justin. It's been a pleasure, Dustin.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I'm glad we got this back up and going. So this is
Same
the last
here,
call.
buddy.
You can find us on fakepigskin.com. They have they're on iTunes, Spotify, and I think they're somewhere else. I'm sorry for not knowing. But we'll definitely have all that information for you and video feed for this next week coming up, guys. All right. So appreciate you all listening to us and good luck this Sunday.